Alright, so welcome to lesson 5 on decimal fractions, and today we're going to be talking about decimals as money. Well, we're all familiar with the good old George Washington, the $1 bill. Well, a $1 bill has a value of 1.00, so one whole dollar and no cents. And so we will say that this is $1. And, because you remember that decimal means and 0 cents. So, well, okay. Well, when are we going to be getting to the decimals as money part? Well, we said that this is $1 and 0 cents. So now let's look at those parts, because remember when we were talking about decimal fractions, remember we were talking about things that have a denominator of 10, or a denominator of 100, or a denominator of 1,000. You remember, those are the ways that we are identifying our decimal fractions, or they're going to look like this: 0.1, 0.01 for that 100, and 0.001 for that thousands. So now let's dig deeper into the more of how we're talking about this decimals as money. So, well, we know that we have the dime. And, well, what's the one thing that we know about dimes when we're trying to make a dollar? Well, we know that it takes 10 dimes to equal $1. Well, one of those dimes, like this one dime I have right here, that one dime, let me put this back on my pen, that one dime equals 1/10 of a dollar. Now, another way that we can write this is that one dime equals 0.1/10 of a dollar. Because remember that it takes, from our statement, that it takes 10 dimes to make $1. So a dime is 1/10 of a dollar. Either way, and like I said, I'm going to be expecting to see this both ways. Well, what about when we're talking about the penny? Well, the penny, that it takes 100 pennies to equal $1, right? Well, okay, then, well, now we're going to be talking about two relations here. We're going to be talking about the relationship of pennies to whole dollars, and then we're going to be talking about the relationship from pennies to dimes, I mean from dimes to pennies. Well, we know that 1 penny equals 1/100th of a dollar, because it takes 100 pennies to make $1, and one of those is just 1/100th of a dollar. Well, that's in fractional form. Well, here it is in decimal form, that 1 penny is equal to 1/100th of a dollar. So when we look at it, that's going to be the important part. But now let's try to take the dime in, because our next lesson is going to be talking about equivalent tenths and hundredths. So as we look further into this, that it takes 10 pennies to equal 1 dime. So now what we're saying, that 1 penny is 1/10 of a dime, or 1 penny equals 1/10 of a dime, if we're talking about that in the form of a decimal. And, well, that is the end of our lesson. Just a sneak peek, a sneak preview of things that we're going to be doing in class with talking about decimals and their relationship to money. And hey, See you for the next lesson talking about equivalent, tenths, and hundreds.